how good was it Saturday to have maybe your healthy starting offensive line for the first time?
Obviously, it's great to have those guys. We're getting close to 100%. You know, a couple guys went out there and played through some pain and injury, and we appreciate that from them. But it was good to get those five together and get them playing together for sure.
It was your first road game of the season. What has been the focus for the team this week so far?
Going into that one or this week?
Going into this week.
Oh, going this week. Well, obviously, you know, in open weeks, you spend the first part of it really kind of self-evaluating. What are the things we need to get better at as an offense and then as an offensive line? And there may be something for each guy. So we're looking at the tape, we're going through the things, we're watching all the plays from the season, maybe even fall camp, and then spending time on the practice field really trying to work on those techniques. So now we'll start evolving into Goergia, full preparation on them starting tomorrow.
What did you see from Kaden in his first game, being able to get back out there?
Yeah, I thought he did some really good things. You know, he's for missing 2 games, you know, he probably a little rust on him, but there were some things really impressive by him. I thought in pass pro we got better as the game went on. I thought in the run game he played very physical and tried to finish blocks, which we need from him. So I was impressed with what he did the first game.
And on the other side, what do you think of how Elijah played?
I think Pritchett did a nice job. You know, there's just like all the guys, there's things that we need to work on, things he needs to get better at. But I thought there were some things he did that were positive, and we need to build off of that.
We saw 2 series in the third quarter with Gino and Wilkin, and Sheridan said on Monday that those guys kind of earned it in practice. Is that kind of what you saw, or what did they show in practice to get those reps to the first team?
Yeah, it's been, first of all, competition is always going to be there. Gino has been a guy that's played all 3 positions for us all through camp and through the season. So if you're looking at, you know, even I think in these games, he's played all 3 spots, left guard, center, and right guard. So he's earned the right to get some playing time. Wilkin as well had a really good week of practice. That was his best week of practice. So I've said this a million times. I have no problem playing more than 5 guys if it's warranted.
Hey, Coach, the offensive line kind of bounced back, you know, this week versus Wisconsin. But can you talk about the message, Dave, the message you've been trying to get across to them over this week with the bye week going on, and they've, you know, had a lot of time, you know, just to review tape just from the first 3 games and stuff like that. Can you just talk about the message going forward, you know, as y'all in conference play?
Yeah, it's always, we always talk about being highly critical of yourself. You know, did I do that block with the proper technique and effort involved? It's not did my man make the play or not. It's how I did it. So we took a deep dive into every play from this season, watched tape. What are the things we really need to improve on this off week? And we spent a lot of time on that.
Sorry if you've already been asked, but what Elijah Pritchett show you in the Wisconsin game?
Thought he did some positive things, you know, and there's some things to work on, just like all of us, right? That's the O-line world. You know, you're striving for perfection. I don't know if we'll ever get there, but I thought he took some positive strides.
We saw Wilkin get some reps there, right tackle later in the game. Where does that kind of competition stand? Have y'all settled on a guy? What is that?
We'll compete the whole season. You know, they need to compete every week, and that's for everybody. So the moment somebody feels like, hey, I've arrived and I don't need to work hard in practice, and that's when they get passed up. So the more guys that show the ability to play and help us in practice will make us a better unit.
Coach, when you look at UGA, what are you looking for on film review to process and communicate back to your guys?
Well, you know, first it starts with personnel, which they're very good. I don't need to say that. Everybody knows that. They play a lot of guys, which that's obviously a plus for them because we can rotate several guys through. They can stay fresher, play at a higher level. Then you start getting into the scheme. Obviously, they're well coached. They do a great job of scheming up what the other teams do best to try to take that away. So we have to find ways to get better at what we do, find ways to attack their defense, and see where we get on Saturday.
You mentioned during camp, Pritchett's a guy that plays with a little nasty, but maybe you're going to see a little bit more consistency from him. Where have you seen him progress maybe from that standpoint?
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. Playing with an edge comes with confidence. When you know what you're doing, you can turn it loose. That's what happens, right? When you're up there and you're thinking pre-snap, you're going to be hesitant, and it's not going to be a successful play. So I think he's, again, it's a thing for him is ultimately for Pritch, when he has confidence, he plays at a high level. So he needs to make sure that obviously he's prepared, because preparation gives you confidence, and that he can play at a high level every snap. That's what we're looking for from him.
What's the biggest difference as or expectation for your offensive line as you guys prepare for conference play? Whether it's Georgia, whether it's beyond, what's that, I guess, one piece of, I guess, advice or technique that you're like, this, you need to do this or you're going to get beat in SEC play?
Yeah, it doesn't change. It's what we've been doing from spring, fall camp, going into the season. You know, it's the opponent matters, but ultimately it's about us. How hard do we work every day? How hard do we work to improve our technique, right? And all the different schemes we have. How much time do I put into it so I make sure that I know what I'm doing and I'm prepared to do it? And if you're constantly pushing yourself, and like I said, that word, striving for perfection, to play at a high level, then game day will take care of itself.
How have you seen, I guess, them respond to that, striving, especially after a performance like Wisconsin? Is there more of a confidence in, especially in your starting five, or is it kind of one that's, not looking for, praise or affirmation? Like, it's just going to continue to strive?
Yeah, obviously, they felt a heck of a lot better after the game than they did the week before, but we're still not where we need to be. And the minute you start feeling good about yourself, right? You've heard the rat poison word around here, right? You got problems. A lot of the same people that were telling them they weren't any good are patting them on the back right now. None of that means anything. They know and we know what we got to do on a daily basis. So, great, we got better, but we're not where we need to be. It's not our standard. We got to continue to work.
How important are these kind of marquee, like, brand games from a recruiting perspective?
Well, I feel like anytime a recruit gets to come here and be here on game day, it's special, and obviously the rankings and the hype and all that brings more to the table. And, sometimes it's the more people are here, it's harder to spend enough time with everybody, you know what I'm saying? And, you can't hide, it's going to be a special atmosphere and special game. But like I said, anytime these kids get to come and see us play in our stadium with our fans, it's a special occasion.
Coach Cap, can I take you back a little bit? When you heard that Nick Saban had retired, what were your thoughts? And then when you had the opportunity later to come here?
Well, I was semi-shocked. Main reason was he was in the process of interviewing two of my friends. So one of them interviewed that day. And so, it was kind of just surprising, the timing of it. As a coach, you kind of look around and you respect certain coaches that have done things the right way and had high level success. So sometimes a piece of when those guys leave the game, it's like you kind of, I don't know what the word would be, that you kind of miss that you're not going to have that person around anymore. But that was the extent of it, and then obviously when there was a change, and then when the offensive line coach left, there's some people on the staff that contacted me to let me know, and then the process went from there, obviously. So when we had the opportunity to talk, visit, and the job was given to me, obviously I was honored and blessed to be there. As people have heard before, it's been kind of a tumultuous year with several things happening with us and moving around with my family, but I got their blessing immediately, so it was full steam ahead from there.
Kaden mentioned that he wants to get Wilkin and Gino, on the field in the future as well. Just as a position coach, how do you figure out when to do that in terms of the flow of the game and all that?
Yeah, again, it starts during the week. To me, every week is different. Like, their job not only is to get better, but instill confidence in us as a staff that we can put them in at any time. There's not going to be any drop off, right? So if they do that week, then it really doesn't matter. It may be, hey, a set rotation going in the game. It may be just a feel for me, whatever that may be. Sometimes it's just how's the flow of the game going. There's a lot of things that go into that decision, and I really would say it's week to week.
And Gino, I think, came in and Parker's helmet came off. Have you said anything to Parker about getting a smaller helmet?
We've had a lot of conversations with him and the equipment people. He's gotten quite a few hands in the face, and they haven't been called, and they're coming off, but we got to figure it out, right? It's happened too many times. So I don't know what we got to do. I got some ideas. I don't know if they're legal, but we're going to make sure that we keep that helmet on somehow, some way.
Do you have like a running counter on the wall or something? How many times it's been?
No, I don't, and it's just too much, right? For sure.
Last two.
Proctor made his first appearance of the season. Just how would you assess how he played on Saturday?
I thought he did some really good things. I felt like as the game went on and he got kind of settled in the flow, we thought he improved throughout the game. And for him, it's just pushing him to try to get a little better every day. And I thought he made some real good strides at fall camp, and then that injury set him back a little bit. But I'm impressed with the way he's kind of jumped back in, and I know he's not 100%. He's fighting through it, so obviously you got to respect that, and my expectation is going to continue to get better.
Do you think the Wisconsin game gave Elijah some confidence?
I would think so. It's like just like practice, right? When you have great reps, you feel good about yourself, and when you don't, we got to figure out why and fix it. So there's things in that game that he needs to fix, but he also showed his ability to be a very good player. So he needs to build from that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.